Hey, it's your old pal Fernbark. It's Cast Iron Wednesday, and it's time for some Thanksgiving or comfort food. Now, I was going to kind of go the easy route and do some pie irons with a Thanksgiving-themed turkey and dressing. And I was going to use some Hormel Completes meals, but some knob bought the last one at the grocery store, so I had to get the chicken and dressing, which should be pretty close. We'll be making some high-quality, almost homemade turkey gravy by adding some of this Kroger turkey gravy mix into a cup of cold water. We'll just start that heating on the side of the stove. Well, the part that I don't pour all over my countertop here. I'm going to go ahead and get my pie irons ready by spraying them with a little bit of duck fat. And done. Well, here's the inside of my chicken dinner. I kind of got like a big old disc of chicken, and our stuffing's on the bottom. I'm going to just give her a little mix, put her in the pie iron. Now, if your mother potty trained you too early in life, you might be inclined to preheat this before you put it in the pie iron, but I assure you that is completely unnecessary. So I got a good chunk of chicken in there, which we're just going to call turkey for the purpose of this experiment. And put my other piece of bread on, obviously, because you have eyes, you can see that. We're ready to go. I have just a little bit of bread left around the outside edge, so I'm going to use this overly qualified 73 forge knife to trim it off. You could just let it burn. It really doesn't make much difference. It's time to see what we have here. That side's looking pretty good, and that side's looking pretty good. And relatively clean pie iron. Nice. I'm going to go ahead and crack her open, see what she looks like on the inside. Whoops. Pretty nice. You know, I should probably use this as like a dipping sauce instead of just putting it on there, but I'm going to do one for the cover art. Alright, let's try this baby out. It smells good. I can assure you the filling is plenty hot. Whew. But the filling is surprisingly bland. I wish I dumped some pepper or something in there to kind of zip it up a little bit. I mean, the flavor's okay, but it just lacks something, so I went and kicked up my dipping sauce a notch. For pie number 2, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with some garlic, onion, and a little more pepper, just to, well, maybe once I get this scraped up, I'll add some onion. I'll add some onion, using my traditional thumb and finger method. Let's have a look at pie iron number 2. There we go. Pretty nice. Well, we shall see if there are any improvements to pie number 2. I got to get to a bite with some filling in it first before I can tell you. The bread's still good. I was really afraid I was going to over-season that, but it turns out, no, still pretty bland. Needs a lot of something. Anyhow, that's going to do it for the dinner portion of this video. My dessert portion is going to be some pumpkin pie that I'm going to make sort of from scratch. I have some pumpkin pie, or some pure pumpkin, and I'm going to add some stuff to it to pie it up a little bit. A couple eggs. Hopefully without the shell. Your typical pumpkin pie spice is nutmeg, cinnamon, and ginger. I thought I had some cinnamon that I could shake out like this, but I just have cinnamon sticks for making hot buttered rums, and that's just not going to get the job done. And I don't have any ginger, but I do have something else that I'm going to add a little bit later. Time to get this baby assembled. My original plan was I was going to go ahead and use, this is a cinnamon roll out of a package or a tube of cinnamon rolls, and I was going to use the top and the bottom as my crust for my pumpkin pie, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do bread on the bottom because I have a concern that these are going to get pretty puffy. So I don't want too much cinnamon roll squeezing out the rest of my goodness. Here's my pumpkin filling. Now that may not look like very much, but there's a bunch of extra stuff going in here. I also have some ginger snap that I crushed up. That's going to give it a little texture, and of course the ginger flavor I didn't add in. And to add sweetness that this is sorely lacking, other than the ginger snaps, I'm going to go ahead and stick in some of these little marshmallows. That will also probably give it some creamy goodness. Alright, time for the unveiling of the pie iron. That's the cinnamon side, and that's the bread side. Not too shabby. It's time to serve up my pumpkin pie. Here's what she looks like. Should have aimed the light a little better. And of course, it wouldn't be pumpkin pie without a little Cool Whip. Taste test time. I found this hobo to help me taste this out.
Hobo. Excellent. Looks delicious.
Oh, too bad. I think I put way too much. I think it turned out pretty good.
And you got the gingerbread cookies inside?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
The cinnamon roll actually turned out a little bit crispy. I wasn't really ready for that experience. And it got pretty thick too. So it's crispy and it's thick, which makes it a little bit of a challenge to be polite and use a fork with.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that's going to do it for Thanksgiving edition of Cast Iron Wednesday. Hope you guys are all having a happy holiday, and I'll check you next time.
It is cold.
God damn it. Here, try these. Tell me what you think. What does that taste like?
That's at least a solid 60% cacao. What do you think?
Yeah, 60%.
Yeah. Cheers.